Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor as due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. News in the gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a quick lesson through the spirit. It's not going to be too long. It's a spirit because I was talking about this yesterday. It says CIA behind terror attack in Kashmir, provoking war between India and Pakistan. There you go. Told you the West was directly involved or indirectly involved, or directly involved or indirectly involved with the conflict between Pakistan and Russia. Pakistan and Slovakia and India, which are two nuclear powers, man. All right. I did a video titled "The World at War: Pakistan versus India," and now it looks like because the West and the espionage and the infiltration of these governments to create global conflicts in order to confiscate resources and to police the world. They've been doing this shit since post-World War II, man. Okay, when the British used to police the world, you know, going back into the British MI5, the MI6, or the Secret Intelligence Service, hence your counterpart, the CIA, and you got the KGB, which is the Russian intelligence, but you got the Israeli intelligence forces as well. You know, this is common to Edomite trait, you know, because he rules with the sword. And like we've been telling you, Jakes, man, hey, everything is a fucking psyop, man. Because same thing with the Nordstrom pipe. I remember going back into 2000, I think it was 2020, was it 2020, 2021 maybe? 21 or 22. I think it may have been 2021. I'm trying to think. When basically Biden was like, yeah, we'll get it done. And then basically Russia figured it out. And when he mentioned that they was going to get it done, first thing that America did was blame Russia. They blamed other countries, other nations. And then find out the fucking CIA or the military or industrial complex, which all works tandem because they're all so-called police agencies, they had something to do with it, man. Hence, world conflict. So yeah, man, this is a common Edomite trait. And they show you that in the Jason Bourne movies, the James Bond movies. They show that in the Metal Gear Solid games, you know, the Splinter Cell games, when, you know, they send their agents or their assassins or hitmen to infiltrate governments and to create certain lifestyles, so to speak, for people to change regimes and overthrow dictatorships and all this other shit, man. You know, same thing in Hollywood. Like when Hollywood the CIA plays a big role in Hollywood, which the CIA ain't nothing but a modern day Jesuit, man. Because they have access to intelligence. Okay, Central Intelligence Agency. So like your whole political movements, political movements, whether it be Me Too, feminism, all this shit was started through Esau's secret intelligence programs, man. Hence shifting the world the way it is. Going back into the 80s, you had the conscious rap, you know, and then here come the early 90s, and then, you know, they infiltrated and they pushed gangster rap. 2020, you know, was a phase out. The year 2000, then you had more of the bubblegum, weird shit, and then 2010 started the drill rap era, and henceforth now we got this degrading ass music, which all this was CIA infiltrated, man. Okay, same thing with Hollywood scripts. CIA writes scripts, and then they have to approve of certain things to go in there to push certain agendas. So how much more World War? You know, they showed you that in the Bond movies. A good movie of that was Tomorrow Never Dies, when basically James Bond, he had to infiltrate the Chinese government, or he was working in tandem with the Chinese government to allegedly prevent World War III. But what they was doing, they was trying to keep the West in power, man, by overthrowing the Chinese government, man. That movie Tomorrow Never Dies, which is a decent movie, you know, but they show you in these movies their whole plan, and they'll send spies in there, basically assassins or hitmen, to get shit done, you know. So anyway, I'm gonna play a couple of minutes of this video. It's not gonna be too long, but that doesn't surprise me. CIA behind terror attack. They're behind every fucking thing, man. You know, and that's the spirit that go that Cardinal again. Been saying him all week, but every time I get in the spirit, the Cardinal shows up. You know, call lawyer out by Shimi Hawashai. But anyway, I'm gonna play it. Let me get a preset real quick, and we'll get a couple of precepts, and then I'm going to play the video. So let's start here, Revelation 6, and I'm going to start at verses 4. And it reads, it says, "And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth." Okay. And how does Esau do that? Through his military industrial complex, man. Through his espionage, his police forces. You know, he'll send the military, or he'll send certain agents and spies into different countries and gather intelligence. And a lot of times, too, agents or agencies work across the board in tandem with one another. Like the CIA, they'll work with the MI6, and the MI6, believe it or not, they work with the KGB. Then they get surveillance, and they got the NSA, and then the FBI, you know, which the FBI is more local. But then again, you know, if the FBI really wants your ass, they can extract you from overseas, you know? But yeah, that's a beautiful red bird, man. I've been seeing him for the last week and a half. Call Loyal by Shem Hawashai. Every time you see cardinals, that's always a good sign, you know, according to the spirit. You know, even though we don't go off superstition or anything like that, but, you know, the scriptures do go into how the animals can teach, you know, watch the worm. No, not watch the worm, but watch the ant, thou sluggard, you know. But anyway, it says here, "And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill another, and there was given unto him a great sword." And it's the spirit, man, because I had a dream last night that the sky had cracks in it, man. Like, you know how like a glass that cracks, the sky had cracks in it, you know, and it looked like it was getting ready to fall, man. And I was thinking in my mind, like, what the hell it was. Because first, I was playing my music real loud in the crib. You know, sometimes I play my music, you know, Jake like loud music. So I'm playing my music in the crib, and all of a sudden, my neighbor was bugging out on me, man. He was like knocking on my door. He like, "Bro." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" He like, "You busted my glass." I'm like, "The fuck you mean I broke your glass?" And he came to the crib, so we walked, and he showed me his patio door, and the patio door was cracked. Like it had glass, and like the glass was shattered. He said, "That's from your loud music, man." I'm like, since when does loud music shatter? I mean, it can, depending on how loud the shit is, but I'm like, my music don't have that much, like my home system don't have that much bass to shatter a fucking glass. Like this I ain't operating on no 12 or no 15s, you know. This is just a home theater with a subwoofer and a woofer, you know, in a sound bar. It gets loud, but not that damn loud, not that powerful, right? And he like, "No, you broke the glass, man." So I'm like, okay, whatever. So the dream shifted, and we was outside, and I was looking up, and the sky had like cracks in it, man. Like the sky was like made of glass or some shit, and it was cracking. And the spirit told me, he said, it's Esau's world getting ready to fall. Because remember, the scriptures say that the heavens shall pass away with the great noise, you know, and also I created new heavens and a new earth. So that represent just what I think in the spirit, that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is getting ready to bring this man's heaven down to, he's getting ready to be brought down, man. You know, but it was strange looking, because I'm like, why does the sky look like it's cracking? Like it's getting ready to bust open. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, this man is getting ready to go the fuck down, you know, so it's close, brothers. But anyway, it says, "And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another, and there was given it to him a great sword." All right. So I'm gonna play a couple of minutes of this video. I actually didn't watch it, but just the title alone lets me know that they're gonna go into it, at least the first couple of minutes. But CIA behind terror attack in Kashmir, provoking war between India and Pakistan. Typical Edomite shit. War.
Of clearing out the rubbish, the trash, the long overdue year when the pastor sell-by-date labels, conspiracy theorists among them, are cast into the dustbin of history.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Redacted on this Thursday. I'm Clayton Morris.
I'm Natalie Morris.
And we got a very busy show for you today. We're going to be talking about the India-Pakistan conflagration. Where did that start? Was it Western-backed intelligence agencies that started it? Stop me if you've heard this before, but we're going to talk about why this thing went out of control and was it all orchestrated right from the very beginning.
Plus, there's a new U.S.-born Pope. What does this mean? Is he a Cubs fan? Will he actually uphold, there was a Babylon Bee meme, Catholics searching to see if the new Pope is in fact Catholic. Well, we're going to ask someone, we're going to ask Father Robinson coming up here about whether or not this new Pope is, in fact, a new era for the Catholic Church. I know you're all wondering. The memes are incoming, you guys, but this is actually, it's an important cultural movement, so we're going to take a look at that, among other things.
Indeed. All right. Well, we also are going to talk about Syria and why a Syrian terrorist, the leader of Syria, is essentially meeting with the French leaders. Like, do we forget his history here? We're going to talk about that in seconds. In fact, we're going to talk about it right now because we've got a very busy show, so we don't want to waste any of your time on this Thursday. So, France has rolled out a red carpet to Abu Muhammad al-Jawlani, a CIA-backed ISIS terrorist who purportedly runs Syria now at the moment. He never used to show his face back when, he was, being a terrorist. Would always wear masks and things like that, or had a very, very long beard. But now he is the installed leader of Syria after the CIA and MI6 carried out that regime change operation to oust Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad. So
right there, that tells you that they always have their hand in something, man. That's typical Esau. He always has his hand in some bullshit because he's the devil. All right, that's what he do. He's continually in war. He don't know peace, man. Okay, it's impossible for this man to understand peace. Like I was mentioning in the video. Let's go here to, I think it's Proverbs, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Proverbs 4. 4:20. Hold on. Yep, 4, and I'm going to start at verses 16. It says, "For they sleep not, except they have done mischief." And this is what he does. Okay, he start forever wars. He overtake countries, he overthrow regimes, just to put his own folly in there, just to push his own agendas on people. Because you'll have a society that's somewhat in order, and then he will come and send an agent or some type of ambassador over there to advocate for democracy in different countries, and then they're rejected. Then, he'll offer them the US dollar. And either they sell out to it, and this is the reason why you got the Taiwanese or Taiwan against China, and this is why you have like the Ukraine going against their own motherland, Russia, because he comes in there and he sells them out. Either they opt into his incentives. He promised them, so-called freedom and liberty, incentive packages, money, power, wealth, whatever. And then before you know it, you got a whole puppet. Or if they just flat out right object, or they just say, you know what, we're not fucking with y'all, then all of a sudden the leader of that country will end up assassinated, and they'll put a puppet in there, man. And that's happened several times throughout the years, man. I'm trying to think of one in particular. I'm trying to think, was it the Haitian? I don't think it was the Haitian government, Cuba. But it was one of those countries that he basically assassinated the leader, and they set up a puppet governor in there, man. Okay, even going back into Venezuela, same ordeal. They set up their own people in there to push to do their bidding. And this is the reason why a country that used to be somewhat sovereign and in order turns into a Western country damn near almost overnight. Okay, look at the apartheid that took place down there in South Africa. Now they're throwing Esau ass abroad, man, because they don't want him in their country because he brings nothing but war. But it says, "For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence," man, right? Like I said, sitting in hit squad. He'll show up to your border with the US dollar and the military and a fucking assault rifle pointed at your head and say, look, you either accept this and bow down and push our agenda, or we're going to eliminate you, and then we're going to push it anyway. But that shows you how he has the power. That shows you how he's the ruler of the earth. And Esau knows that, man. All right? Scriptures goes into the hammer of the earth. And what is a hammer? A hammer is a tool for what? Beating things into place. Okay, a very essential tool you need to hang pictures, or if you want to do certain things, or you want to beat shit in place, you use a hammer, which is a forceful instrument. And that's what Esau is. He's like a hammer. He's like a mallet that comes down hard on anybody that resists him, because he has the power. The power is in his hand.
Emmanuel Macron just invited him, shake hands, hugged him. Big bro hug here. And our next guest is, this is once again.
And Clayton and Nellie Morris, they're insiders, man. Especially Clayton, the woman, his wife. She just a ditzy ass She just a ditzy ass broad, man. All right. I think she's Natalie Morris. I think she claimed that her mother or somebody or father has some type of Hispanic descent, but I think the bitch is a tear. But then again, if she is an Israelite, of course they love Edomites, man. But I think she's a tear. But she's stupid as hell. She don't know what the hell is going on, man. Clayton is like the insider. He gets tips offs and, he's controlled opposition. It's no different than Alex Jones. He's no different than Rand Paul. What's his other guy's name? What's his other clown's name, man? Damn. Forgot the name of that dude. I was just looking at him yesterday, man. Not the Savoy show. But I watched the show pretty often. What's this guy's name? David Hodges or whatever the fuck his name is, man. I can't recall it. Let me see something. Not David. Is it David? Not David Hodges. Not him. Not David Hodges. Who the hell am I? I'm thinking about what's this guy's name? I don't know. I can't remember, man. But it's a couple of guys that I watch that pretty much expose Esau, man. Like you got this guy by the name of what's this dude? This Sean Ryan show. All them dudes are insiders, man. All these dudes are insiders, man. Glenn Beck, him, and it's another guy. I got Glenn Beck, and it's the other guy too, man. I did a lesson on his video the other day as well. But a lot of these dudes are insiders, man. Glenn Beck. There you go. Yeah, this dude, he's an insider too, man. Psalms 58, and I'm gonna start at verses. Let's start at verses 2. It says, "Yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth." There's nothing but violence and wickedness in the earth, man. This is why going back into the first death, going back into when the Most High flooded the earth, man, you had this type of activity going on. That's why the Most High said that he seen that men and ventures were wicked. Because when you go back into Genesis, I think it may be Genesis 6. Not Genesis 6, but Genesis 6 and 5. And it reads here, and it says, "There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of the Most High came into the daughters of men, they bare children to them, and they became mighty men, which of old men of renown." That goes into the giants. That was us. And it says, "And the Yahweh saw that wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented Yahweh that he made man of the earth, on the earth, and it grieved him in his spirit. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from off the face of the earth, both men and beasts, and the creeping things, and the fowls of the air. For it repented me that I have made them." All right. So, yeah, we're in that time again when all hell was getting ready to break loose. So the Lord is getting ready to bring a flood of fire, like the scriptures say, of ungodly men. All right. Because Esau is an ungodly man. And this is why he's constantly at war. He's constantly bombing. He's constantly overthrowing shit. He can never be at peace. 1 minute, we're going to be at peace with Russia. But yeah, you back in war, or you back talking about nuclear talks with Russia now, man. So like the scriptures say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction. Okay, this man can't operate in peace. It's not in his spirit to do so. Psalms 140, and I'm going to start at verses 1. It says, "Deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man, and preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs, and in their heart continually they are gathered together for war. For if they have sharpened their tongues like a serpent, and added poison is in their lips." Selah, right? And this is the common Edomite. War, destruction. Anything in his paths he wants to destroy, including you Israelites.
And expose the grotesque hypocrisy of Western leaders when it comes to human rights and democracy. And that guest is Kevork Almassian, who writes and produces over at Syriana Analysis from Syria, and joins us today. Kevork, great to see you. One of the clearest voices, of course, on what has been happening in Syria. I just got to get your take. When you saw
An ISIS,
an ISIS terrorist going to shaking hands with Emmanuel Macron, who's now running your country. I mean, this is shocking. What did you think?
I am disgusted, but I'm not shocked at all because the French deep state, especially the secret intelligence agencies, have a track record in supporting Al Qaeda and ISIS in Syria. For example, in 2012, then French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius praised the Al Nusra Front, which later has been rebranded into HDS, whose leader now Jolani, and now self-elected president of Syria, by saying that al-Nusra is doing a great job in Syria. And also French companies, for example, one of the French companies, Lafarge Cement, they have funneled millions of dollars into ISIS in Syria in order to continue operating in the ISIS-held territories in the country. So they funneled millions, and they also gave them cement so they can build fortifications in order to protect themselves against the Russian airstrikes. So France has a track record in supporting these terrorist organizations, including money, weapons, ammunition, and intelligence support. Therefore, receiving Jolani now in Paris, it's not shocking at all for me, because this is the fruit or the outcome of a war which France played an instrumental role in supporting this type of jihadists in the country. However, the shocking part is when you receive someone like Jolani.
Yeah, the Jimmy Dore. Yeah, Jimmy Dore. I think he's an insider too. He the one that brought out the fact that how Fauci paid some officials overseas the $8 million in grant money to say that the C-19 was started by a bat when they found out that it was actually made here in a biolab in America. I think at the University of North Carolina, one of them universities he mentioned, North Carolina, something like that. I forgot. But I was telling people when it first started back in 2020, when the lockdowns and shit came and all this, I'm like, man, America did that shit. I was telling everybody I work with that, I usually talk to, that was wondering. I'm like, man, that's an American bioweapon. I was saying that shit back in 2020, and everybody was looking at me like I was crazy because they was too stuck on stupid and to believe. And like he said, the American people are the most dumbest people in the world because you've been propagandized, man. You propagandized, however the hell he mentioned it. But propaganda, which is basically sensationalism. You people are completely under a deep spell because you sit in front of your TVs all day and you listen to this rhetoric, this bullshit, this crap they call the news in front of your face, and you fucking eat it up, man. Okay, the American news, or just news in general, most of it is propaganda, man. Okay, you can't believe shit that they say. The crazy part about it is you don't know. You don't even consider it. And when somebody tells you what it is, you call them a fucking conspiracy theorist, when these are conspiracy facts. And that term conspiracy theorist came out during the time of the assassination of Kennedy, man. A CIA term. But they try to use it and weaponize it against people that at least have the ability to think outside the box, unlike 99.5% of you stupid ass Americans, man. And this is why majority of you gonna die. Just being straightforward. All you Americans, you're gonna be destroyed, all right? The only ones that's gonna make it out of this place is the elect. Everybody else outside of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's elect, his elect men and women and children that's gonna come up that, all of you are gonna die. All right? Because you're extremely stupid and the spirit of the Most High is not dealing with any one of you. Just to put it out there.
You are setting a very dangerous precedent in the region. You're sending a message to the young generation in the Middle East that if you want to become a hero, if you want to become relevant politically, then you have to join a terrorist organization like Al Qaeda, because then education is irrelevant. Jolani has any educational background. You don't have to be you don't have to be in political party. You only have to go and join a terrorist organization, carry an arm, and fight against your government, and then you will come to power, and these Western governments will not only endorse him, but they will embrace him. Because Jolani now will open the Syrian market to foreign investment. He will get loans from the IMF. He's cozying up with the Davos psychopaths, basically, and he has been received by Tony Blair. And to the foreign minister of Jolani has been received by Tony Blair recently, and they have been talking forever. So those are the priorities of France, in addition to the Syrian normalization of relations with Israel, which is very important for France and the United States. Now Jolani is talking to Israel. He sent
Giuliani talking to it, see? All of them in that circle, man. And now they are trying to go before the bill or the House They try to make anything or anybody speaking up against Israel, speaking out against them, to be fined or facing up to 20 years in prison. So you know what that means. So eventually they're going to try to home in on this truth, because anything that goes against the better state or the so-called betterment of the small hat, you're labeled anti-S. And they're going to push that, and they're going to throw that and weaponize that to anybody that disagree with their falsely driven narratives that they control by the media, man. Okay, here these men can literally be caught in the act. Everybody knows that they're funding the trafficking rings around the world, but yet you shed the light on that, then all of a sudden you are anti-S, or you got to go to jail for 20 fucking years, or you got to be found, you know. Can nobody come up against them? And that's a known thing. Hey, whoever has the power, the people that, the ones you can't speak out against is the ones who owns everything. You know, they the ones in power. So this guy named is Kevork Alamasian, which is a geopolitical analyst and a host of Syrian analysts, all right? So, and he was breaking down on a whole ordeal with Bashar al-Assad, which who knows what happened with that. But anyway, let's go to the book of Psalm 64, and let's start verses 2. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked and the insurrections of the worker of iniquity, man. Bro, the secret council is going into these cabals, you know, these secret societies, you know, the elite or the Illuminati, as we like to say. And then they got their police force, which is the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, MI6, KGB, you know. Even, you know, they got their you know, they got their Chinese alliances or their Chinese intelligence, all this shit. And you better believe that they've had their eye on this truth for quite some time as well. Okay, if you don't think that you have government agents or agents infiltrating our camps or within our camps, then you are sadly mistaken. Okay, like Apostle Tahar said, he said, hey, there's an agent in every GMS camp. And you know what? I wouldn't doubt it. You know, and that's not saying, look at brothers weird. Oh, man, you may be a fucking spy, nigga. I ain't saying that, because, I mean, realistically, in the smaller camps, it's a little bit harder to infiltrate because, you know, everything is more tight-knit. And you can see things a little bit more. But versus you got 100-man camp. Oh, fuck yeah. Like, are there agents in the Chicago camp? Oh, fuck yeah. Of course there is. Is there agents in the LA camp? I guarantee. Is there agents in the main camp? I guarantee it. Okay? I mean, hell, and you got some agents that's blatantly out there. Fucking look at Nick. That's a whole that's a whole congregation full of agents, man. At least the leadership, the whole leadership of the IUIC, I believe all them motherfuckers are cops, man. I don't doubt that at all. Sakari, them niggas I believe them niggas are agents, whether they're agents for Satan or they're doing some backdoor deals with Esau. Something is off with that. Same thing with the ISUPK. You think it ain't a bunch of agents in that? You know, especially when these niggas blatantly defy what it means to live peaceably among men or abstain from all appearances of evil. These men are winged with particular so-called stars of David, which that's not even really the Star of David, but they're wearing that shield, and everybody knows that that's Amalek's symbol, man. He represents that. But yet you got a bunch of so-called Hebrew Israelites, which they wear black, and then they're Hebrew Israelites, as Nate like to say, black Hebrew Israelites. And then they're just blatantly putting themselves out there. Okay, some guys you could just tell they're just infiltrated. And those are the more obvious ones, man. But the ones that's the scary ones is the ones you don't never expect. Here, this motherfucker is quoting all precepts in the Bible. And like Apostle Tahar said, he said, look, if you're an agent in Great Millstone, you're going to be doing the work. You're going to be doing your 3 videos a week, and you got to be on fire. You know, and hey, a lot of their ass may secretly have converted. You know, probably denounced that CIA shit, that like, you know what, I can't do this no more. I'm a believer. Then he comes up missing some damn where they kidnapped him and murdered him, you know. But this is the reality of it, man. This shit is really... Hey, it's gonna get real, man. Okay, a lot of people getting ready to turn on Yahweh Shai, man. They getting ready to turn their back on the Lord because they not ready for what's getting ready to come out. You know, like the scriptures say, you have not resisted unto blood. This thing is coming through bloodshed. This new world order ain't just gonna be some smooth and pretty transition. They're getting ready to unalive a lot of people, man, in order to get this new world order, because this is Esau's final rule, man. Revelation 12:12. Okay, he wants to unalive at least 5.5 billion people on the planet Earth. And he's going to do that with the sword because he ain't got nothing else. All right. And it says, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Yeah. You know, that anti-S shit, you know, he's demonizing the truth. He's putting a certain term, all black Hebrew Israelites, you know, calling us the T word and how we're causing ruckus in the community. And now all of a sudden you got a bunch of niggas that used to be Israelites, which you can't used to be what you are. You are what you are, whether you believe it or not. But now all of a sudden, all these niggas are popping up online talking about, well, why I'm not a Hebrew Israelite no more, or I don't agree with the Israelites. You know, a lot of Christian guys are coming up against us, man. Out of all the shit happening in the world, they want to pick shit. They want to pick fights with the Israelites, man. When we're just out there speaking the word. But that shows you what we're doing is working, man, because it's gotten the attention of this world, man. Everybody knows who we are. And it says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. And who is the perfect? The Israelites. And suddenly they do shoot at him and fear not. And they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. That's them government institutions, the CIA, you know, trying to catch you up and shit. And they say, who shall see them? Because an assassin operates in the shadows, man. You know, they operate in the shadows. They do things covert. They got something which is called covert ops. Covert means under the radar. You know, black ops, when they go in there and do black op missions, man, when you do a black op missions, your thing is to eliminate anything and trace and leave nothing unscathed, man. You do what you got to do and get it off the record. You know, we doing a black ops mission. That means that even though the government knows what we're doing, but that's outside of mainstream government. Like they got a movie with Jason Statham called The Beekeeper. The Beekeeper was basically a black ops version of the CIA. It's the CIA, but it's the men that they send after you. They like the big dogs to put shit back in order. So at the same time, the CIA and the FBI supposed to be working on the same team, but one operates outside of the laws of legality, and then the FBI have the image of working within the laws of legality mainstream. But the CIA, they operate in the back curtain. And they controlling the FBI, and the FBI don't even fucking realize that shit, man. You know, the beekeepers type ordeal. You got motherfuckers like that for real, man. Dangerous. That's why we gonna need your how shy, man. Okay, Esau dispatch a beekeeper after your ass, man, in the form of an AI drone. What you gonna do with that? You think getting pepper sprayed and doing a 1-2-1 combo, fucking blindfolded, fucking foot all, you walking over your punches and shit, man. You're not on point. You think hitting a mid blindfold with pepper spray in your eyes is gonna help you defeat one of those? You out your damn mind, man. All right, no fat nigga with a 2XL t-shirt and a fucking do-rag and some shades gonna do a goddamn thing, man. You dudes ain't ready for what's getting ready to come. And it says they encourage themselves in an evil matter and they commune of laying snares privately, and they say, who shall see them? Yeah. Because the average dumbass don't see what the hell is going on. Oh man, I'm paying $20 for eggs. I'm getting laid off. The average American is stupid, man. All right? You stupid and you deserve exactly what's coming to your ass. Like when I look at those videos of people being laid off and they crying, I don't feel no type of way about any of you fucking people. Straight up, you deserve it. I'll pray more your ass get laid off and dumped on the side of the road somewhere because you that damn stupid after we've been warning your dumbasses, man, that this man is getting ready to fuck your life up. Oh, y'all conspiracy, y'all making it up. Y'all just mad because y'all didn't make it in life. Nah, bro, that ain't really what it is. We just genuinely telling you people so we don't get destroyed. Okay, fuck what happened to you. We looking out for us. And that just straight up. I'd rather tell you you gonna die before the Most High destroy me. That's easy. So fuck you, you know, and that's the spirit that's the spirit I'm in when it comes to these people. But it says they search out iniquities and they accomplish a diligent search, and both the inward thought and every one of them in the heart is deep. The think tanks, right? But it says, but the power should shoot at them with an arrow, and they should suddenly be wounded. And that arrow, first and foremost, is this truth. This is why this man is losing. Like, you know how like let's just say it's a movie. Let's say if you get a plate of diamonds in your hand, they're very valuable, and somebody smacks it up, and then you struggling trying to catch the damn diamonds, or the cup fall, you trying to catch it. That's basically what he's doing, man. He's fumbling now. He's fumbling the ball. Okay? And it says, so they should make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see him shall flee away, and all men should fear, and should declare the work of the Most High. It says, for they should wisely consider of their doings, of his doing. So I'm going to end it giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Lord's will, you will edify into the next lesson. Shalom.